Assalamu alaikum. My name is Tahir and you are watching live HR Consultants Pakistan. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मैं सबसे पहले इन्फॉर्म करना चाहूँगा अपने तमाम व्यूअर्स को कि आज हमारा स्पेशल एक सेशन होने जा रहा है मलेशिया स्विनबर्न यूनिवर्सिटी पर होने जा रहा है। डिस्कशन होगी उस पर। वो स्टूडेंट स्पेशली जो मलेशिया जाना चाहते हैं स्टडी के लिए, स्पेशली स्विनबर्न यूनिवर्सिटी में जाना चाहते हैं, इन्फॉर्मेशन चाह रहे हैं लाइव आइट्स से रिलेटेड, फी स्ट्रक्चर से रिलेटेड, यूनिवर्सिटी से रिलेटेड, आपकी कोई भी क्यूरी है आप लाइव कॉल कर सकते हैं 0346474743 पर। आपकी लाइव क्यूरीज को क्लियर किया जाएगा या फिर आपकी स्क्रीन पर दिया जाएगा एक लिंक, उसको आप ज्वाइन करके हमें लाइव कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं। तो आज हमने इस पर डिस्कस करने के लिए इनवाइट किया है मिस्टर डार्लिंग को, जो यूनिवर्सिटी स्विनबर्न यूनिवर्सिटी के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव हैं। इसी के साथ हमने मिस्टर उमैर मजहर है, हमारे HR के मलेशिया के मैनेजर है। उसी के साथ हमने इन्वाइट किया मिस्टर नोमान को, मलेशिया हमारे ऑफिसर है मलेशिया के। तो आज इस पर डिस्कशन करेंगे। वेलकम टू ऑल ऑफ यू।
Thank you.
Thank you, Tahir.
Now over to you, Mr. Umar.
Thank you, Tahir, for the introduction. Mr. Dillon, I welcome you on the official page of HR Consultants.
Thank you.
Mr. Dillon, today we are discussing about the Swinburne University courses which they are offering. We will discuss about the situation for the students regarding the COVID-19 and what are the steps the university is taking because we are expecting that the borders will be open very soon. So I like that you start from your introduction of your university. As we all know very well that it is a branch campus of the main University of Swinburne from Australia. But I want that you should give some brief description of that.
Sure. Thank you, Umair. Thank you, HR, Tahir, and Noman. Thank you for hosting this session. And thank you, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. And thank you for listening in. My name is Dylan. I'm from Swinburne University of Technology, Sarawak campus in Malaysia. As Mr. Umair mentioned, we are a branch campus of an Australian university located in Malaysia. So Swinburne is actually originally from Melbourne, Australia, and we have been there for over 100 years. We are a top 3 university in the state of Victoria, and worldwide we are ranked in the top 400. For young universities, we're actually in the top 50. That means we are a top 50 university under 50 years old. The Malaysia campus, located in the city of Kuching, Sarawak, in East Malaysia, has been in Malaysia for 20 years, and we are the only full-fledged branch campus of Swinburne University, Australia. We are offering exactly the same Australian degrees, which you can complete in Malaysia, or you can also choose to transfer to the Melbourne campus in Australia anytime after 1 year to complete your degree. The benefit of completing your degree in Malaysia is that you'll be getting exactly the same Australian degree, but you'll be paying a fraction of the Australian fee, which is about 1/3 of the Australian fee overall. And we also offer attractive scholarships. And as you know, students from international students from countries like Pakistan coming to Malaysia is not an issue. Visas is almost guaranteed that you will get a student visa to study in Malaysia. So thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone will have.
Thank you so much, Dylan, for the brief introduction. My first question is, kindly tell us the new policies that Swinburne University taken with respect of COVID-19 situation for Pakistani, especially for Pakistani students.
All right. Thank you, Noman. Yes, so the COVID situation, which started in, I think, the end of the first quarter of the year. For Malaysia, it was in March 18th, that the country actually entered a lockdown. We call it the movement control order. So actually we are still in this control order until the end of the month. That means there's still a lot of restrictions in place. Universities are still basically closed to most students. So ever since the lockdown, the university has actually embarked on a online learning. We have transferred all our classes online immediately after the lockdown was imposed. So even the students who joined us in March and April, they were able to continue their studies online. Some are in Malaysia, and some have chosen to return to their home country. But they all just finished the first semester online, and we will resume the next semester in September. So at the moment, Malaysia as a whole is looking to open up the borders. Right now, it's not yet open, but they are hoping to open by October. So at the moment, Swinburne is slowly allowing our current students who are already enrolled and those with a valid student visa, they will gradually be able to return to Malaysia once the border opens, once the flights are available. That is a possibility. And we wait for the official government announcement that in October, if the plan is for all universities to reopen for all international students, including Pakistan. But at the moment, there is no confirmation. So what the university has done is that we have opened up the next 2 semesters. That means September and October will be done online, right? You can choose to continue your studies online from Pakistan. And as an incentive, the university is actually offering attractive scholarships. If you choose to commence your studies online by September or even October, if you do it this year, you will get about 20% in fee rebates for the first semester. So this is while we wait for the government's official directives on allowing international students back to the campus.
Thanks, Glenn. Have you update or changed the entry requirement for undergraduate students? Because this year, as you know, intermediate students got the results without appearing in the final exams. So, do you have any changes in the entry requirement or fees?
Okay. Generally, the entry requirements remain the same. So just to recap, for Pakistan, we accept both SSC matriculation and HSSC intermediate into respectively the foundation and the degree program. So a student who has completed matric with an average of about 65%, they are able to join our foundation program. So if they have done their matric this year with these results, with these scores, they are able to join us for foundation. And those who have completed intermediate with 65% average can also join us for the bachelor's program. So basically the entry requirements remain the same. Our scholarship requirements also remain the same. That means a student who exceeds the entry requirement, let's say they have about 75% and above in matric or inter, they will be eligible for an entrance scholarship starting from about 10 to 20%. And when we are talking about fee reductions, I know this is a very important issue. Generally, the university's fees are still the same, but the incentive I was just mentioning earlier is that for students who choose to start online this year, that means they don't wait for the next year. If they choose to start with Swinburne in September or October, they will receive average about 20% fee rebate in their first semester. That means in their first semester, they will be paying fees less 20%. It's basically the domestic student fee. And in the second semester, they will continue to get the scholarships which we have been giving out to all international students in 2020. So this range from about 5,000 ringgit, and if they have good results, it will be added further scholarships in their second semester.
Okay, that's great. That sounds great about the scholarship that you did. In the introduction, you mentioned that the student have an option to transfer to the main campus after 1 year.
Yes.
So I want to know what is the difference between the transfer program and the exchange program?
Thank you. Very good question. Yeah, so we do have 2 options for students who wish to spend time in Australia. We call it a student mobility. That means our degree students can actually switch campuses at any point. Basically, after the first year, they can go in their second, or they can go in their third, or they can go in their final year. A transfer program means that they will permanently shift from Malaysia campus to Australia. And if they do that, they will finish up in Australia and graduate in Australia. But also, if they go to Australia on transfer, they will also be paying the Australian fee. So as I mentioned a bit earlier, the Australian fee is up to 3 times higher than the Malaysian fee. We do have the exchange program. Exchange means as a Swinburne student, they can actually spend 1 semester in Australia. So possibly in their second year or in the beginning of their third year, they can actually spend 6 months or 1 semester in Australia. And as exchange students, they will actually continue to pay the Malaysian fee because exchange students continue to be enrolled in Malaysia. So they will still pay the same Malaysian fee while they are in Australia. The university will also assist them with the visa application. So a student who is already studying in Malaysia, they can apply for their Australian visa from within Malaysia, whether for exchange or transfer.
Thanks, Glenn. Further to Mr. Umair's question, like this question is very common in Pakistani students. The degree the student is getting from university, Swinburne University, Malaysia, and Swinburne University, Australia, is the same, or
Yes.
it's different?
Okay, it is exactly the same. So basically, when you talk about branch campuses or foreign branch campuses, as the term is used in Malaysia, so we are actually identical to the main campus in Australia. A foreign branch campus means it only awards Australian degrees, even though the location of the campus, as you can see behind me, it is located in Malaysia, but we are offering full Australian degrees. That means even if you finish your whole degree, 3 years, 4 years in Malaysia, you get exactly the same Australian degree. It will not mention Malaysia anywhere on the degree certificate. So even if those students who continue on to Australia, they will be at the end of the day, they'll be getting the same type of degree. We even have students who choose to finish their studies in Malaysia, but take the graduation ceremony in Australia. That is also possible because we are fully Swinburne campus. So we are the same university.
Okay, Dylan, continuing the same question about exchange, as many of the students ask this thing specifically from us that how that we can transfer or we can exchange our program with the main campus. So as you said that for exchange program, the student can exchange his semester, one semester in the second year or at the start of the third year.
Yeah.
So is there any specific eligibility criteria for that to apply for the exchange, or any
Yes, yes.
student can apply for that?
Basically, exchange is open to all undergraduate students. So as long as you're doing a bachelor degree at Swinburne, you are eligible for both exchange and transfer. We have slightly different admission criteria for exchange and transfer. For example, if a student wants to transfer directly to Australia, for most courses, they just need to achieve a CGPA of 2.5 out of 4. So it's about 65, 67% average. It's not impossible, and most students actually can achieve that. Okay, for transfer, it's slightly higher. They need a CGPA of 2.7 out of 4, so maybe it's closer to about 70%. But if they can achieve that, they will have met the main criteria for exchange or transfer. There will be an interview process. So we will screen all students who wish to apply for exchange or transfer. And they will also need to show that they are suitable candidates, possibly have a strong CV or a profile where they're active in extracurricular activities. So it's always good to participate in student activities while they're on campus. For example, students from Pakistan, we encourage them to join our cricket club or our debate club or cultural club. So that shows up well in their CV, and that would make them good candidates for exchange or transfer. The reason we do this is because, as you know, exchange and transfer are very popular programs. We typically send up to about 50 students per semester for transfer to Australia. I think this number is probably among the highest worldwide for any branch campus university. Typically, exchange and transfer, they only work in the numbers of like 2 or 3 students per semester. But in the case of Swinburne, I would say we're very generous, or we're very flexible. We'll allow almost every student who applies for exchange and transfer. We'll give them a chance, and they will most likely succeed in their application.
Okay, Dylan, so is this exchange is also available for your master's program as well?
Okay, it is not automatically part of the postgraduate master's programs, but as our two most popular master's programs, the MBA International and the Master of Construction Management, both of these are also offered in Australia. And actually in Australia, as you know, they have more majors. So it is possible for a student to start their master's in Malaysia and finish up in Australia. Okay, it might not be strictly called transfer, but it is possible for them, for example, to do 1 year in Malaysia and then the remaining year or 6 months in Australia.
Noman, your voice, your mic is off.
Sorry, Master. Dylan, as we know, the Swinburne University is located in Swinburne, Sarawak, and the place name is Kuching. So, can you please tell something about the place Kuching?
Sure, sure. So Kuching is the capital city of the largest state in Malaysia, which is Sarawak. So I think most of our viewers, they are familiar when they talk about Malaysia, they are familiar with the capital, Kuala Lumpur. So Kuala Lumpur is the largest city in Malaysia, the capital. And we are located about 1 hour, 40-minute flight. We are in East Malaysia on the island of Borneo. So we are close to Brunei, and also our neighboring state is Sabah, and we're also close to Indonesia. So we have our own international airport. Kuching, I would say, is the fourth largest city in Malaysia. As you can see behind me, the campus is located in the city. So we are a city of about 1 million population, and we are close by to all amenities. So the campus itself, we are renovating our on-campus accommodation. So we'll have brand new on-campus rooms by next year. And then nearby the campus, we're actually close to a shopping mall. It's just a 5-minute walk. And we're close to 2 mosques. And we also have supermarkets, banks, 24-hour halal food, all within 5 to 10 minutes walking distance of the university. So actually the students who come to Malaysia, I think if it's your first time in Malaysia, you probably won't notice any difference between Kuching or Kuala Lumpur. Kuching is a more quiet city, but I would say it has everything that an international student would want. We have, at the moment, our international students are about 800, which is about 20% of our total student population. And I'm very happy to say our Pakistani students are usually in the top 1, top 2 in terms of numbers. So we have over 100 Pakistani students on campus. They come from all over Pakistan, Sindh, Punjab, and the smaller cities. And some also come from, they live in other countries like UAE, Saudi, and they've chosen to study in Swinburne in Sarawak. And I believe they enjoy the experience and also the community.
Okay, that's great. Can you give some idea about the fee structure and the living cost over there?
Sure. So this year's fee, this year's fee for a 3-year degree is about 30,000 ringgit. So let me just do a quick calculation, yeah, or you guys might know already. So that's
If we want from your side.
Sorry?
If you know the fees, what we want from your side.
Okay, sure. All right, just quickly using the converter. In Pak rupees will be about 12 lakhs per year for a 3-year degree. This includes business, computing. Okay, if you're coming for our engineering degrees, which are very popular, these are 4-year degrees. So these would be about 16 lakh per year in Malaysia before any scholarship, okay, before any fee rebate. So this is the full fee, which normal international students pay. But this year, lucky you, we have an automatic rebate of about 2 lakh for all students. So all students joining in 2020 will get 2 lakh automatically in the second semester. And then in the first semester, if the student chooses to study online this September, October, first semester, they will get automatically 20% fee rebate. So all in all, I think for the first year, they will be receiving at least 30% in fee rebates.
Dylan, we know that Swinburne University is offering a wide range of engineering programs like civil, chemical, electrical, electronic, mechanical engineering, robotics and mechatronics, civil engineering, mechanical engineering. What is the entry requirement of these bachelor's programs?
Okay, if a student, okay, for bachelor's, right? For a student coming from intermediate with a 65% average, they are eligible for the engineering program. They will need to come from pre-engineering or pre-medical or pre-science because we need to see that they've done math and at least 2 sciences, preferably physics is one of them. So if they have met this criteria, we can offer them admission into the Bachelor of Engineering. It's an honors degree, which is 4 years, same in Malaysia as in Australia, same as in Pakistan. So our engineering degrees are actually accredited by Engineers Australia, the Board of Engineers in Malaysia, PEC in Pakistan, and also the Washington Accord globally. So a student who has graduated with our honors degree in engineering can practice as an engineer in Pakistan or anywhere in the world right away. Graduation. Sorry, Umer,
I think there is some distortion at your end.
I just realized that I didn't answer your question about the living expense. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm getting you, please.
Is it better? Okay. So lakh per year, including food, accommodation. So whether you stay on campus or off campus, it will cost about 6 lakh per year in Malaysia.
Okay, that's fine. And what about your PhD programs? Do your university offer that as well?
Yes, we actually offer the full range of Swinburne's programs from foundation, diploma, bachelor's, master's, up to PhD. So for master's and PhD, a large portion of them are offered by research. Of course, PhDs are all offered by research. Uh, Masters, research masters are typically about 2 years, whereas the PhD could be up to 4 years, but it depends on the student's achievements at the time of admission. So we do offer PhDs, and these are also offered, awarded from Australia. And the interesting thing about our research degrees, which include masters and PhD, the offers actually come from Australia. So the students' applications are actually assessed by a panel in Australia, and they'll be given an offer. They can choose to do their research in Malaysia. And also, we have some cases where a student moves back and forth. That means they might start in Malaysia and spend some time back home for their research and have regular consultation sessions with their supervisor. So basically, if a student is interested in a master's or PhD by research, they will just need to prepare a thesis proposal for the supervisors or the panel's approval, and then they will be informed whether their submission is accepted. For PhDs, we are also promoting scholarships, and these range from 25% up to 100%. So depending on the student's academic background, their scope of research, they could be eligible for a scholarship from the university as well. Our research areas also will be the same as what we offer at undergraduate level. So we have engineering, we have science, we have computing, we have business, we even have languages. So these are the fields that the research students can consider.
I think there is distortion at the side of talent.
Okay.
So I think the
Distortion,
last
sorry.
that you're, yes, the research areas that you're explaining is, I think you have not heard that.
Oh, I see. Okay. So none of it was heard. Okay, I'll just put it briefly. Our PhD and masters by research are awarded from Australia. The student will need to submit their thesis proposal for approval. And we do offer scholarships for PhD and masters by research from 25% up to 100%, depending on the student's academic background and also their scope of research.
Okay, that's great. Sai, please.
Uh, yes, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, Tahir.
Darren, I have a question.
Yeah.
Student can apply without arts in Swinburne University.
Yes. Yes. If they are coming from metric or inter, we will need some form of English proficiency. The most convenient, I would say, besides IELTS, is to take our online English test. We call it the VEPT. It's a Versant English Placement Test. It can be taken at HR's office. It can even be taken at home during this time of pandemic. We can administer the test to the student at home as long as they have a computer with an internet connection. We can administer this 1 hour online test with them. And if they pass this test or meet the required score, then they will have met the English requirement. So IELTS is not a requirement in Malaysia, whether for admission or for visa. As long as a student has some proof of English proficiency, we can admit them. And also some good news for students from O levels or A levels, we can actually take O level English as proof of English proficiency. So a student with a B or C in O level English, they will also have met our English requirement.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Dallin. And first of all, I would like to special thanks to Mr. Dallin, Mr. Umar, and Mr. Noman that you joined us today and for your precious time. And it was very interactive session today. I hope मैं अपने तमाम व्यूवर्स को ये कहना चाहूँगा जैसा कि आज सबने हमारा सेशन देखा स्विनबर्न यूनिवर्सिटी पर बहुत डेफिनेटली आपके लिए जो है वो एडवांटेज होगा इसका कि आपको जो भी क्यूरियस आई होप कि सारी क्यूरियस क्लियर हो गई होंगी स्पेशली वो स्टूडेंट्स जैसा कि आज आपने सुना कि मलेशिया में बहुत ही अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ हैं फर्स्ट के आप विदाउट आइट्स भी अप्लाई कर सकते हैं सेकंड बहुत से स्टूडेंट को कन्फ्यूजन होती है कि क्या बैंक स्टेटमेंट होगी नहीं होगी, तो ये भी चीज़ है कि विदाउट बैंक स्टेटमेंट भी ऑप्शन अवेलेबल है मलेशिया में। इसके अलावा क्रेडिट और आप ट्रांसफ़र करवा सकते हैं मलेशिया में, और इसके अलावा और भी बहुत सी अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ अवेलेबल हैं, स्पेशली वो स्टूडेंट्स जो अप्लाई करना चाहते हैं फॉर एग्जांपल यूके, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, कनाडा, मलेशिया, कनाडा या फिर यूएसए में। तो उनको मैं एक चीज़ यहाँ पर डेफिनेटली इन्फॉर्म करना चाहूँगा कि बहुत अच्छी उन स्टूडेंट्स के लिए अपॉर्चुनिटी है जिनका स्टडी गैप है, वो स्टडी गैप की वजह से बहुत ज़्यादा परेशान है कि वो ऑस्ट्रेलिया नहीं जा सक रहे हैं, यूके नहीं जा सक रहे हैं, कनाडा या यूएसए नहीं जा सक रहे हैं। तो जैसा कि आज आपने हमारा सेशन देखा, स्विनबर्न यूनिवर्सिटी ऑस्ट्रेलिया का स्विनबर्न यूनिवर्सिटी है जिसका कैंपस मलेशिया में अवेलेबल है। तो वो स्टूडेंट्स जिनका स्टडी गैप है वो उसकी बेसिस पर भी मलेशिया में अपनी स्टडी को कंटिन्यू कर सकते हैं स्विनबर्न यूनिवर्सिटी में, और अपने जो है क्रेडिट आवर 1 या 2 ईयर की स्टडी करके उसको कंटिन्यू कर सकते हैं डायरेक्ट ऑस्ट्रेलिया में। तो ये बहुत अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी अवेलेबल है उन तमाम स्टूडेंट्स के लिए जो परेशान है अपनी स्टडी गैप की वजह से। तो अगर आप अप्लाई करना चाहते हैं तो फ़ौरन से, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल तो मैं आपको हमारा ईमेल एड्रेस बताना चाहूँगा अपने तमाम व्यूवर्स को। फ़ौरन से अपने डॉक्यूमेंट्स हमें व्हाट्सएप कीजिए malaysia@hrpakistan.com पर। आपके डॉक्यूमेंट्स देखकर एनालिसिस किया जाएगा, उसके अकॉर्डिंगली आपको कंप्लीट इन्फॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड की जाएगी। या फिर आप कॉल कर सकते हैं मिस्टर उमैर मुज़र को, हमारे रावलपिंडी ऑफिस में अवेलेबल होते हैं। फेस टू फेस मिलना चाहते हैं तो अपने डॉक्यूमेंट्स लाना मत भूलिए। डॉक्यूमेंट्स लाने का पर्पस ये होता है कि जब आप अपने डॉक्यूमेंट्स लाएंगे तो आपको कंप्लीट इन्फॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड की जाएगी, आपके डॉक्यूमेंट्स देखकर एनालिसिस किया जाएगा कि आपको बेस्ट ऑप्शन क्या दी जा सकती है। तो विजिट कर सकते हैं आप मिस्टर उमैर को रावलपिंडी चकलाला स्कीम 3 हमारे ऑफिस में। इसके अलावा अगर आप मिस्टर नोमान से मिलना चाह रहे हैं तो मिस्टर नोमान हमारे इस्लामाबाद हेड ऑफिस में अवेलेबल होते हैं। आप मिस्टर नोमान से फेस टू फेस मिल सकते हैं। मिस्टर नोमान का नंबर है 0346474734 और मिस्टर उमैर का नंबर है 034647474052। इसके अलावा पूरे पाकिस्तान से जिस स्टेशन से भी देख रहे हैं वो स्टूडेंट्स जो हमारे ऑफिस में विजिट नहीं कर सकते किसी रीज़न की वजह से, या किसी ऐसे स्टेशन से हैं जहाँ से वो विजिट नहीं कर सकते, तो HR कंसल्टेंट ऑनलाइन भी फैसिलिटेट कर रहे हैं अपने तमाम स्टूडेंट्स को। आप हमें स्काइप पे ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं, हम आपका ऑनलाइन केस स्काइप पर ले लेंगे। इसके अलावा आप कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं डायरेक्टली मिस्टर उमैर को, जिसका कि मैंने अभी आपको नंबर्स बताया, मैं नंबर रिपीट करूँ 034647474052 पर आप अपने डॉक्यूमेंट्स व्हाट्सएप कर सकते हैं एनालिसिस के लिए, या फिर 034647474034 पर अपने डॉक्यूमेंट्स व्हाट्सएप कर सकते हैं। तो आज का मैं अपना सेशन हमारा यहीं पर एंड करना चाहूँगा।
सॉरी ऐड करना चाहूँगा ताहिर यहाँ पे, सॉरी टू कट यू। एक चीज़ अपने व्यूवर्स के लिए ऐड करना चाहूँगा कि इंटेक्स जो है अभी अवेलेबल हैं, सितंबर और अक्टूबर इंटेक स्विनबर्न में ऑफर हो रही है, सितंबर और अक्टूबर इंटेक, ठीक है। और प्रेफर है कि फेस टू फेस क्लास होगी फ्रॉम अक्टूबर अगर बॉर्डर ओपन हो जाए, जिसके चांसेस बहुत ज़्यादा हैं। और इनके लिए यूनिवर्सिटीज़ जो है अभी एडमिशन प्रोसेस कर रही हैं, तो हमारे नंबर डिस्प्ले हुए हैं स्क्रीन के ऊपर, ताहिर ने अब रिपीट भी कर दिए, मेरे नोमान के, और ईमेल एड्रेस आ रहा है हमारा malaysia@pakistan.com। तो वो अपने हमें डॉक्यूमेंट्स ईमेल भी कर सकते हैं और हमारे नंबर से व्हाट्सएप भी कर सकते हैं। जहन में रखिएगा सितंबर और अक्टूबर इंटेक जो है वो अवेलेबल है, ठीक है। और मलेशिया के लिए ना हमें आपके लिए कोई बैंक स्टेटमेंट चाहिए, और आइट्स की जगह भी यूनिवर्सिटी का अपना टेस्ट है, आइट्स का अपना इनका टेस्ट है, और वो फ्री ऑफ चार्ज है, जो आप अपने घर बैठ के भी दे सकते हैं और आप हमारे ऑफिस में भी आके देख सकते हैं। तो इट्स अ राइट टाइम टू अप्लाई। आप अपने एजुकेशन डॉक्यूमेंट्स मेरे नंबर पर और नुमान साहब के नंबर पर या ताहिर साहब के नंबर के ऊपर आप व्हाट्सएप कर दीजिए, या हमारे ईमेल एड्रेस के ऊपर आप शेयर कर दें। थैंक यू ताहिर साहब।
Thank you Mr. Gallen, once again thank you Mr. Dallin and Mr. Umar, Mr. Arman, thanks to all of you। तो अपना आज का सेशन मैं यहीं पर एंड करना चाहूँगा। अपना ख्याल रखिएगा। अल्लाह हाफ़िज़।
Thank you everyone.